Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Doctor. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. Slightly stormy. I just got back from the dog store, and I'm ready to talk to you guys just a little bit about my opinions on Alexandrite Ring. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. I am trying to get 5,000 subscribers so that I can get sponsored, and it would make a huge difference to me. Thank you. Alexandrite Ring is currently the topic of a lot of discussion, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize why they're farming for Alexandrite Ring+5. That, or they're just farming out of a need or desire to try and get it, and I don't think they realize we don't have to farm that much. And the benefit from getting a +5 version of this ring is not great. So let's talk about what I mean here, and let's see what it is that you really get out of +5ing an Alexandrite ring. Looking at the base stats here, this is going to be a critical version of the Alexandrite ring, and you can see that it has accuracy 10, critical hit 12 or 15, sorry. Evasion 2, HP 182, Defense 2, Spirit 2. You'll also notice that it's level 20 right now, and it has all element attack resistance up 2. So if we go to the resistance display, you can see, if it'll let me click on it, you can see that it has all elemental resistance +2. At level 50, the ring will provide 5% resistance to every element. That's essentially 5% damage mitigation to almost any attack that is elemental oriented. So you can think of this just a little bit as a defensive ring, and I think this is probably the strongest benefit to the Alexandrite ring, with the elemental resist paired with that accuracy 10 and critical hit 15. Of course, there are other pieces of gear that are better than this, specifically some TMRs offering stats like agility that you can't normally get, or defense and spirit that are substantially higher. This ring is going to be an advent of a situation where you might go double accessories. The problem with this, though, is you are going to be missing out on more defensive power, and I don't think that's something you're gonna be doing very often. I think this ring is going to be something that you equip on your characters when you have an open accessory slot, if they don't already have a critical hit or accuracy piece of equipment. Let me give you a great example of when I would use Alexandrite Ring. It would specifically be when I have a TMR that is weapon oriented already on a character. What I'm really looking at is Sir O's TMR, for example. Coming in with that accuracy +10 and elemental resistance on a ring would be very powerful. Sir O's TMR does have crit 13 on it, so I do only get another crit +2, but I wouldn't be able to equip another TMR in that slot, and I would not be able to equip probably an armor that adds accuracy on it at all. So this would be a great ring to pair with Sir O's TMR. Another piece of gear that it would be great to pair with would be Vermilion, which a lot of us have access to. You could even pair it with Night Seeker, for example. If you didn't have an amazing staff already, hop on Night Seeker, get that additional accuracy from your TMR slot, because most likely you're not going to have a very powerful TMR to equip to your mage. So overall, I don't see Alexandrite Ring as being an essential piece of gear. I think its strongest benefits are the accuracy and the crit, but even then, there's other pieces of gear that do it better. Of course, if you got a +5 version of the Alexandrite Ring, you would get an additional +20 accuracy on it. That's pretty good. Having a total of accuracy +30 would be hard to argue against. However, I don't think you're ever going to be in a situation where you need that much accuracy. I'm sure there's people out there who are working on their perfect evasion builds, and they're just going crazy. Why not just get an accuracy Alexandrite ring? I don't understand why you would ever need a +5 Alexandrite ring. I don't think even in the meta in JP, when I've seen evasion units in JP, You have surefire hits like Holy. You have surefire hits like using potentially Decider of Fate into any other technique. You could just go a max crit build where accuracy isn't even going to be a concern. So I really struggle to find why everyone in the community is so obsessed with pushing for +5 Alexandrite Ring. I think you would be much better off investing in multiple Alexandrite Rings and bringing them all up to level 50 for your characters, using them more as a defensive ring when you don't have a sort of evasion option, right? So often you're going to want to equip Heroes Ring +5, for example, for that evasion. Let's say that I'm trying to gear up Mont, and for whatever reason, Mont is not using his TMR or not using an accessory TMR, and he has some like armor TMR on, for example. I would just put this ring on instead for that additional 5% resistance, and it would probably be a lot stronger than if I did like an evasion ring on him from Heroes Ring. Or let's say that I know I'm going up against a specific element and I want to try and defend against that element as much as possible because the opponent has only elemental techniques. Then yeah, I might use this as well. That 5% damage mitigation for DPS potentially could be enough to save their life. It could be enough to make them attack twice. So overall, I don't see this ring really being game breaking. I don't see a point to getting it +5. I see it as another tool in your toolkit that you can utilize depending on the situation. I think the accuracy +10, obviously fantastic. Critical hit rate +15, absolutely fantastic. I think the strength of this, though, is that all element attack resistance up, and I don't see the +5 being worth it at all. For those of you that are farming your life away right now in Raid because you want to get the +5, good on you. I could see you wanting that extra accuracy. I understand that. I hear that. I am not that type of a person, and I don't think I would ever want an Alexandrite Ring +5. I might end up getting one over the course of a couple months because there's going to be multiple farming opportunities to get Alexandrite Rings, but there's also going to be other UR gear that's going to be coming out with different raids as well, and that gear is going to be probably more impactful than, say, the Alexandrite Ring. The gear that I'm thinking of specifically would be like Platinum Robe, or potentially Platinum Armor, or any type of equipment that allows you to have a TMR accessory, since the most powerful TMRs are most of the time accessories. And if you are equipping one of those powerful TMRs, you're probably going to be equipping a strong piece of armor, not a secondary accessory, but you never know. So overall, I would just say, make sure you know what it is you're farming. Make sure you understand that the +5 is not needed. Don't grind your life away on this raid. You should be trying to get those rainbow fragments of thought. But honestly, just getting a couple Alexandrite Rings to help prepare yourself for Tower, for example, on characters that may not have access to TMRs at all. Maybe you're going to be taking a couple LB3 characters in. Completely possible when you go into Tower. This ring, if you have a whole bunch of them, could be very powerful for your entire team. You're going to have to gear out multiple teams to be able to take on Tower. Accuracy +10, crit +15. You're not going to have enough armors for that HP +182 or for all of your characters. So maybe even that HP 182 is going to help you out. Not to mention that all element attack resist up for the unit. So once again, don't lose your minds over this raid. This raid, if anything, is just a tutorial to teach us how raiding works and how we should be preparing for the future. Don't grind your life away, and grab a few of these rings. Don't +5 them, don't +3 them, don't +4 them. It's not worth it. Maybe it's worth it for a little bit of an accuracy boost, but I doubt it's ever going to make a difference more than spending time doing something else to work on your account. That might be like farming eggs this weekend or farming gill snappers. What you do with that will probably make a longer lasting difference in your account than actually farming a +5 Alexandrite Ring. Alright everyone, well, we are at the end of the video. I hope all of you guys are happy still and not angry at me for my opinions. If you did like this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. If you are planning on buying Visior, please do use my Amazon affiliate link. It is one of the best ways to support me. It gets you 20% off your Visior, and of course, it gives me 10% of whatever you buy. One of the best ways to support me without actually giving money to me. And finally, come check out our Discord, post a comment on YouTube, And come check out my stream. I do stream every night except for Mondays and Thursdays, and I love hearing from my YouTube crowd. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.